Welcome to another edition of the EasyConnectMD.com video podcast submitted. Gabe Farias and Dr. Daniel H. Kellum Jr. Of course, EasyConnectMD.com couldn't be easier. Pardon the pun there, but it is incredibly easy. If you need a telemedicine visit EasyConnectMD.com. Couple of easy steps, Dr. Kellum. You just put your information, tell people or tell our providers, why you're visiting. $39.95. It is super easy, super convenient, and really within an hour you could be on your way to pick up your prescription.
Absolutely, Gabe. It's really the way that medicine will be in the future. If you're feeling sick, if you're feeling down, especially right now, we're a little bit nervous about getting out to medical care facilities because of the huge number of COVID cases we're seeing right now. For anything, sore throat, cough, congestion, maybe feeling down, maybe feeling anxious, maybe having trouble sleeping, worried about family that may be sick, all wonderful avenues to use EasyConnectMD.com. It's 3 easy steps. You get in front of a provider that is board certified in the state of Texas, and you will get your answer, get some meds if applicable, and you'll have that all taken care of within the comfort and safety of your environment.
And this is truly telemedicine for Texans. We've seen folks from all over the state of Texas utilize our service, from El Paso to DFW, Houston, the East Texas area, the Rio Grande Valley, South Texas. Our providers are from all over the state of Texas. They're wonderful. Where's the strangest place you've had somebody that you've talked to? Well, the strangest city?
Gun Barrel, Texas.
That is so Texas.
Very much so
That
Texas.
is so Texas.
But you know what's interesting about that, Gabe, is that, and we sort of joke about that, and it is truly healthcare for Texans across Texas at a very affordable rate, which I think is certainly needed at this point with a lot of job uncertainty and COVID issues spreading. But the funny part about it is all across the state, the thing that I've liked is that everybody has very much the same concerns. How do we take care of ourselves? How do we protect our kids? How do we protect our families? And it's a uniquely and universally accepted approach to get things taken care of. People love the ease, they love the convenience, they love the safety, and they love our attention to the visits, meaning that you're not having to wait for 30 or 45 minutes.
Yeah.
We're in, out 10 minutes, and so it's been enjoyed and affirmed by many people all across the states.
You know, and one of the things that you talk about, because you talk about a place like Gun Barrel, Texas, we're going to go do some work in Crystal City for some folks. A lot of these rural areas, having access to even getting to a provider is sometimes challenging. Right. So this type of telemedicine service is really effective for those rural areas.
Absolutely. It is, in any conditions that we would be in, this is certainly an effective means of trying to get these minor ailments taken care of. However, in the context of a situation where it's really kind of difficult to get out, be among people, you're elderly, you're worried, I mean, more reason than ever to use EasyConnectMD.com. It's affordable. You get wonderful, well-versed providers. Like I said, in the safety of your own home, get your medicines, can drive through, pick them up, never have to really come into contact with other people that if you're worried, and you will feel better, and be informed, and that's the recipe for a much more satisfied day for sure.
You know, what's dominating obviously the news, I mean, it is the understatement of all understatements from Captain Obvious here, is COVID-19 and specifically the vaccines. We've had our first set of vaccines that we've given out to patients in that one, and really patients and partnering medical facilities in that area, in that 1A and 1B category. We get calls every day, hundreds, thousands of calls that we get at our office. Can you explain 1A and 1B and who right now is priority to get the vaccine when these medical facilities get it?
1A and 1B. So the 1A category initially came out with people who were in long-term facilities, as well as healthcare workers and first responders. The 1B category includes those same individuals, but those that have chronic disease. And those chronic diseases can be from heart disease, diabetes, smoking, obesity, all kinds of different things.
So just right there, because that's a question that we get all the time, is what is considered a chronic ailment? And you're talking about them right there.
And all of those things are definitely included. One of the other areas which I thought was kind of novel and in retrospect I thought was really smart was one of the counties surrounding us put teachers as a 1A or 1B, I'm sorry, requirement, which I think was really very smart as well. And so I will tell you, it speaks honestly, quite frankly, to the frustration of this whole situation in terms of rollout and CDC guidelines. And we will talk to that in a second in this podcast about that. But there's just a lot of moving recommendations based on what we're seeing, how it's going, where the allotments are, and things are changing. And so that's why hopefully Gabe and I will be able to continually update you on the progress of this vaccine and what is changing, and just make sure we get to our patients and our community the information that is necessary in a very simple and easy way, because Gabe doesn't know it any better. and that way we can give
very simplistic.
But that way we can give confidence to the people that are listening to us.
And let's talk about teachers right quick, because this is the farthest thing from a political commentary or conversation that we're going to have, because this is about medicine, but people want to get the economy going. People want to get things back to normalcy. I still think we're a few more months away from that than what people would like to think. But really getting our teachers back is such an important part, because you get your teachers back, you get your kids back in the classroom, and things can start they should be a high priority for this vaccine.
Sure, and really, as an apolitical discussion, I totally agree, because what we have been seeing on the downside is teachers, or on the backside is teachers not wanting to go to school for fear of catching COVID, which is a very real concern. And certainly what we've been seeing with children is over time a little bit of either sadness or anxiety or frustration, or not necessarily accomplishing the goals that they typically accomplish through their school year, and it is causing a lot of retribution in terms of their emotional state. And so I think it's very important that we get people back at school from purely medical reasons, and the only way that I see accomplishing that is to get the teachers vaccinated so that they can create a safety situation there. We can get kids back in school and then begin the learning and begin the reacclimation to a process that we know that is healthy for kids in many, many situations.
Dr. Kellum, we get questions all the time about the vaccine, and one of the questions one of our patients asked was, I have a specifically an egg allergy, and she was saying, that she knows that vaccines are made from these types of substances. People have nut allergies. Can you talk a little bit about, if you have some sort of food allergy, is this something that you can take a COVID-19 vaccine?
Yeah, the answer to that is yes, but a little bit of explanation so people can feel a little bit more comfortable with that. When we used to use some of the old vaccines, flu in particular is one of the biggest ones that they talked about. What they would do is that they would grow a bunch of flu virus, and then they would deactivate it basically, and then give it to us so that we could develop proteins and antibodies to that flu. They had to grow enough flu medium within a particular substance, and they used egg as that substance, and so that's where people had issues with egg allergy. What we found with the messenger RNA vaccines is that they coat it in this glycolipid, so that is a sort of protection that protects this little very, very unstable messenger RNA to allow it to get into the cells and then go away. And so what we have found, people with egg allergies are more than okay to take the COVID vaccine. We're also seeing that people that are immune compromised, so if you're getting chemo, or if you've had a transplant in the past, those are also recommended to get this vaccine as well. Pregnant women and lactating women are also encouraged to get this vaccine as well, because it's all levels of individuals that need protection for it. And that actually speaks to the safety, in my opinion, of the vaccine, both the Johnson and the Pfizer and the Moderna.
Sure.
Now, the contraindications to the vaccines are two things, and they're kind of self-explanatory in my opinion. But if you're having an acute illness going on, we certainly don't want to vaccinate people in the midst of that. So if that's happening, let us know. We'll test people for a variety of things that are out there, make sure that things are stable. And once they get past that particular illness, or at least let your healthcare provider evaluate to see if maybe in that moment you're still a candidate to get that done. But that would be the one contraindication. And then the other contraindication is sensitivity to any parts of this vaccine. So we've kind of talked talked about that before. That would typically come with the second vaccine if you had a bit of an allergic reaction.
Yeah.
But if anybody who has had a severe reaction in the past to vaccines, what they encourage you to do is wait 30 minutes after. And that's what we do anyway as a part of our protocol to make sure that everybody's okay. We have EpiPens and oxygen and all the things that we need to make sure we can make a situation better. And so that's I think something that should give comfort to individuals, but certainly tells us that the vaccine is safe and open to everybody.
Yeah, obviously we're not going to give any specificities, but for us, we haven't had any real problems giving it, any of the staff.
Yeah,
besides, I cried for like 3 or 4 days, but you know, that might be more of a personal anxiety thing than any. Did you say 5 days?
Yes.
No, it was not. It was more like 5 hours, but that's all.
That's all. Whatever.
But in all seriousness, I had the arm pain, and I think that's kind of the minor side effect that just about everybody that I talk to says. Weird though, the first round I got it, arm pain for 3 days. Second round, arm pain for about 7 or 8 or 9 hours.
Yeah, and in our full disclosure, that second vaccine, people can get a little bit of ache and body pain, maybe some chills, and it usually lasts no more than 24 hours. A headache can come associated with that, but I will tell you that it's a
24 hours versus a good chunk of time where you know you're safe and covered.
And God forbid any kind of issue. You know, that's your body building this immune reaction, and that's one of the things that we see, and that's why we like this vaccine so much, is that it not only protects us, but it protects us very vigorously to the COVID-19 virus. And the other thing about that we're seeing, and I think this is a question that people have asked me, and I'm sure asked you, is really how long the vaccine lasts.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing with this is that it's potentially going to be an every 2 to 3 year vaccine as opposed to an every year vaccine, which is kind of good. And it harkens back to the old pneumonia shots, where every 3 or every 5 years we would give somebody a tetanus shot that would build their immunity. And, they would get where they needed to be. And so, I think what we're seeing is a lot of positives with this vaccine. Certainly, it's a little bit scary. The rollout could be a little bit better, but they are getting there. We're getting up to about 800,000 or 900,000 vaccines a day. I think they're shooting for 1 million vaccines a day over the first 100 days in the new administration, which is about where we were with the Trump administration anyway. And so that's going to be good. I think if they do that and the states get their processes down, providers like myself and most every primary care provider will get it out to people as quickly as we possibly can, because we certainly understand the need for our community to be safe and protected, and especially our communities of color, where there's a little bit of hesitancy and a little bit of fear in terms of taking this vaccine. We certainly want to be out there in front of them, explain to them what's going on, so that we are all protected equally.
Another question. You and I have had the vaccine twice. So everyday Joe's had the vaccine twice. He's going to ask, so this means I could go out, I'm not going to get it, I'm safe. And that's not necessarily the case, is it?
No. So the 95% efficacy tells us that 9.5 out of 10 times you will not get the vaccine. Not get the virus.
The virus.
But the good thing, and I say this because we want to fully disclose everything, if that 5% they get it, or that 5% may go on to get COVID-19.
5%, yeah.
But they will not go on to get the severe consequences of COVID-19. So there is a huge protection with that. But they're still going to have to maintain a lot of the state requirements in terms of mask wearing and where you're at, and distancing in restaurants and all the things that you should. I think getting the vaccine is responsible. I still think there needs to be responsible behavior after the vaccine to make sure that you stay healthy, and we all stay healthy until everybody gets it. But if people can just continue to hang on and do what they're supposed to do, and the state can get access to this, my prayer and hope is by the end of this summer, and certainly by the end of this year, we're getting them to a place that's much closer. I would love to see, come August, schools opening again like they should, with the same kind of fanfare and the same kind of routines and the same kind of excitement that all of us got to experience in school year after year. I want our kids to get back to do that, because I think that's really where they do well. And honestly, the teachers deserve it too. They deserve to work in a place, and I think they've done a phenomenal job in the school districts and protecting people, but they need to work in a place where they don't have to be looking over their shoulder to get sick and probably be devastating for them.
Last question.
Sure.
So patient X had it back in June of 2020. Do I need to get the vaccine? Does he or she need to get the vaccine? Because they've had it. And at least in their mind, what they've seen is that, well, if you've had it, you're immune to it. And that's not the case either.
Yeah, the indications. So if you actively have COVID, the recommendations are to wait 90 days after to get the vaccine. But in someone who has had had COVID-19 back in the early spring of last year or early summer, the recommendations for them to get the vaccine now, the protection is good. And if it had to be between you and someone who had never got it and maybe a little bit frail, I would let them move further in front of the line because you do have some presumed protection. But the truth is that everybody's going to need it. And that way we can all have a good sense of protection across the board.
Yeah. So we got one email also, and let me read it right quick. It's from Hot Guy GF Kellum COO at earthlink.net. I don't know who that is. Do you really think the Texas Longhorns are going to be that good? Because I really think it's fool's gold. I don't know why anybody would write something like that. Like, what's up with that? But seriously, can you answer Hot Guy GF Kellum COO at earthlink.net's question, please? At earthlink.net. Who still has that? At satx.rr.
I don't know. I get on MySpace often and look at that.
Yeah, a message from MySpace from Hot Guy GF.
God, would you stop saying that?
Yeah, I know, right? It's making me kind of every time I say it myself. Asked the question last time. Longhorns still struggling or playing along well. Another big win over Kansas again. For real? For
the
real?
reals.
So the Texas Longhorns for real. Final Four for real? Well, you'd love that, wouldn't you?
I would totally love that.
To watch it in an empty arena
From my couch.
Final from your couch. Yeah.
You know what? I think they have a real chance. I mean, when you watch them play, they're solid.
They're
across
good.
The board, but they seem
Absolutely.
to have good attitude. You know, whatever you think of Shaka Smart, he has done a great job in getting his program where it needs to be right now, and they are playing well. They're number 5 in the country now.
Yeah.
There was a postponed game this weekend, but they look like they can compete, and they've got that about them. That little thing.
Swagger? The swagger?
Maybe the swagger.
I will let Hot Guy
Oh my God.
GF COO Kellum at earthlink.net know your answer. Okay?
Thank
All
you.
right.
Gabe.
I don't know who that is. It's like crazy random. Dr. Kellum, EasyConnectMD.com is the sponsor of this podcast, and for good reason. It's being used all over the state of Texas. It's telemedicine for Texans in a great way for $39.95 for you to get information, for you to get the medical attention that you need from a licensed provider here in Texas.
Absolutely. $39.95, simple process in front of board-certified individuals in the state of Texas that's well-versed for many years in many of these things that we're talking about. But be careful. Be careful when you go out. Try to stay safe.
Yeah.
Try to stay away from a lot of people. But don't let that keep you from getting peace of mind.
Yeah.
You can easyconnectmd.com. It's super simple, super quick, and we will be able to put you at ease. Or in any case that we can't, give you the direction that you need to go to try to make sure we can get you there.
Awesome. Dr. Kellum, enjoy the week.
Thank you.
All right, folks, stay healthy.
All right. Hello, my name is Dr. Daniel Kellum, and I'm proud to introduce you to EasyConnectMD.com, powered by Kellum Family Medicine.
If your goal is to make life less hectic, then EasyConnectMD.com is for you. For those non-emergency ailments, log on to EasyConnectMD.com and see a licensed medical professional from your home or office. With EasyConnectMD.com, there's no need to miss work or school or spend hours at a minor emergency clinic. Get medical care online and on time at EasyConnectMD.com.